A lot of high-flying action last week, and shouts to Effortless for, I think, setting the bar for how to dress for Quake Pro League. Dan, I know you have some thoughts on that. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting role playing, but as you got to keep wearing that hat. It's a lucky charm right now.
That's what I was saying. If it gets you a 3-0, I'd wear that every week if I had to. Real quick before we get into the breakdown for today, mute the stream if you don't want any spoilers from the challengers, but I got to give a shout out to both Sib and Chance from the America side for qualifying, and also Hell and Buckster on the EUCIS side. They will be on the Stage 2 Finals relegation, and now it's just a matter of time to see how it shakes out and who might get relegated. But yeah, big shouts to them. The challengers went down yesterday, a bunch of fantastic matches, and they qualified again. Sib Vicious and Chance on the Americas side, and Hell and Buckster on the EUCIS region. But now it's time. Let's break down today's menu, Dan. A whole bunch of matches, but of note, Kilsen has returned. It's going to be the return of the German. He has been battling an eye issue. I don't think he's 100%. It's going to be interesting to see him. It's just good to have him back. Wishing him a speedy recovery all the way back to 100, but definitely good to see him back in the arena. Kilsen CNZ to kick it off. Then we got Maxter versus Rafa, Chain versus Saigib, Sparty versus Cooler, Nosfa and Zanaku. And then we have our featured matches where DJ Wheat is going to join us, Razy versus Base, and Wenger versus Avek.
Back to the full course of menus here, because we're on full force, and once again every week some really good matchups there. And as you say, Kilsen back, it's just going to be really interesting to see what type of form he's in. Obviously suffering some issues, unfortunately for him, but good to see him recover to a certain degree, and just keen to see what shape he's in now leading up to the Stage 2 Finals, because the points are very relevant in terms of obviously standings going into those finals, but it's also about now momentum and form. We still have a little bit of time, about a month to go, but it is now looking at the final details of your game and how you're going to push into the finals.
Absolutely. I think this week aside, there's about 4 weeks left, so crunch time. I think, unfortunately, some of the players are kind of set in stone. I think Dewey on the America side is probably going to be in the relegation matches. Garpy, he might have a way out. He's up against the wall right now, so he has to try his best to try and dig his way out. But yeah, it's starting to close. The curtains are going to close down on some of the players. It's now or never to start adding up those points.
And we've seen it before that if you drop out, it's a long road to get back in. Some of those challenges have been highly consistent. Buckster and Hell have been on the cusp for many times. I know Hell been around the block quite a few times. Buckster relatively new to this level. He's always been a high performer, but he has it in him to break through. And so yeah, I'm sure Garpy staring down the barrel of a last place is not where he wants to be, and then that would probably put him up against his Maestro brethren, which would be very unfortunate. And equally on the American side, Chance back is amazing. And as you say, Sib, well, we all know Sib, and he's been there. Is it his chance now to actually get back to where he thinks he belongs?
Yeah, Sib's always knocking on the door. He's kind of like the king of challengers at this point. He's always knocking on the door, whether he gets in or not. It depends. I mean, we saw Zanaku kind of keep him out last time in a tight series, but we'll see what he can do. But focusing on today, let's get into Kilsen versus CNZ. This one should be a good one. CNZ kind of on the bottom of the scoreboards here, on the leaderboards rather. And Kilsen, he's got to make up some of his games. So he's dangling down there, but it's not because he's doing poorly or anything. Some of the, I believe, 2 makeup games that he has to do, including this one as well. So it should be an interesting matchup. I know we haven't gotten the pick bans yet at all, Dan, but how do you feel? I mean, battling the eye issue is going to be absolutely huge, I feel like, for Kilsen, but in terms of that aside, Kilsen versus CNZ, how would you break it down?
Who knows what form Kilsen's on. On a normal day at a normal time, you'd have to look at this matchup and say Kilsen should be taking this 3-0. I don't think it'll be massively comfortable, but you would expect someone of his caliber to take the 3-0 away from CNZ. And CNZ is in this precarious position where he's unfortunately not picked up a single series victory, but like many of the players that we've seen kind of down the lower ends of the leaderboard, he is picking up maps here and there and has had a huge array of very close encounters, just hasn't got the edge at this point in time to convert those into wins. And so this is actually probably a really good opportunity for him, not only to test himself against Kilsen, which will definitely push him out of his comfort zone, but also to take down a vulnerable beast. I know Kilsen's coming back with a bit of a limp, and you don't want to show any mercy. So it could be a nice little recuperation period for CNC to pick up some much-needed points.
Completely agree. Let's get into the pick bans and see if that shifts the favor in anyone's direction. Let's see. Molten Falls, Ruins, Corrupted Keep, and we have Anarchy versus Sorlag, Eisen versus Strog, and then Ranger versus Doom. How do you feel about that setup, Dan?
I have to go and say I do favor Kilsen's picks by a decent amount. I'm always very wary seeing a light versus heavy, and you've got Sorlag going against Anarchy. I love Anarchy. I think he's great on Molten Falls, and CNZ plays him a lot, but then you have the Sorlag running at you with, very similar speed, same air control, and a much bigger stack. And the way in which Kilsen plays, he uses that stack so efficiently, picks you apart with rail. CNZ's going to have to play an absolute perfect game for me to take that away. Ruins is a lot more even at Eisen versus the Strog. I just think Strog offers a lot more versatility. And again, Eisen will have to play quite a steady, methodical game, heavily based around the heavy armor down the lower ground, and CNZ can do that well. So it's a better matchup, but again, I would still slightly favor the Strog, particularly the way in which Kilsen then could use that speed to open up even more rail angles. And then Corrupted, you've given away Doom to Kilsen on Corrupted, which is pretty much the strongest champion on that map. Ranger's a good counter, but again, if you waste that orb, you are so incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah, I agree. The burst damage is going to be a big key factor for CNZ. Also, again, we might be able to see some set plays going from Mega to Heavy to try and take full control of the map. But I do think that the slight advantage for CNZ is that he will use that Dire Orb for burst damage, so inevitably he will get the time shards, because I don't see Kilsen just popping Berserk. So maybe that'll be a factor. Maybe Kilsen knows, and maybe he's going to pop the fist just for fun, just to deny vials. Very rare that we see that. But we also could just see a fist fight. I mean, Kilsen has used Doom before, and we've seen it happen many times. But if I were to put you up against the wall, which I wish I could, predictions, Dan.
You could try, but I'm still going for my 3-0-40. 3-0
Locking it
Kilsen.
in. All right.
Yep.
All right. That's fair. Chat, I think predictions might be happening. Let's take a look. It looks pretty one-sided. Not going to lie. I'm a little upset. But, yeah, personally, I would probably at least go 2-1. We have been talking about how CNZ does put up maps. He can't pull off the series, but I mean, taking maps off someone like Razy, even though his Molten Falls, it's kind of his map. In this particular setup, maybe not in his favor. The Anarchy versus Sorlag is a little brutal of a matchup. I still feel like he will be able to pull out at least one map. So I'll go 2-1 in favor of Kilsen. But I wouldn't be surprised if CNZ can pull this out 2-1, because it all depends on, the eye thing with Kilsen and how in shape he is in terms of practice.
Yeah, your eyes are obviously pretty important to a game of Quake, but discounting that, you would once again say Kilsen should take it relatively comfortably. And just as we're going into Molten, your point there is it is CNZ's pick, and he picked the Anarchy into the Sorlag. So, he has a plan, one would hope, going up against such a tanky champion in the hands of Kilsen. So let's see how he manages that. And it will be a bit of a real battle, I imagine, and that will... It's the kind of game Kilsen wants to play, but also the kind of game Anarchy will favor, being a lighter, more maneuverable champion. So let's see how CNZ does. I think he has to play a perfect game if he takes it, and he's definitely got it in.
Yeah, it should be a good one. I think maybe one of the key factors here is using that inject to kind of mitigate any kind of spit damage. Maybe. I mean, obviously you want to get the overstack going as quick as you can as an Anarchy, but we'll see. I mean, it all comes down to game plan and how the rails really fall, because knowing Kilsen, he's just going to try and hit like 70% rail. And you love to see it, but we'll see if we're going to see Railson today or not. But it's all down to Molten to start it off, Dan. Very excited. Kilsen, the return, live here on Quake Pro League, and we are right into it on Kilsen.
And already got a big engagement over by the rail, which actually favors CNZ ever so slightly, popping the inject, coming out relatively healthy, but Kilsen will backtrack, pick up the health prior to the Mega, and also offset these two items right at the start of the game.
Really aggressive start here is CNZ with a layup of a rail here. Rockets spam from Kilsen. Knows exactly where he is. CNZ just keeps taking a little bit of splash damage. Just holding his ground, just waiting for that rail attempt here. But Kilsen, nothing doing. Just getting his splash damage, backing away. Inject is up for CNZ. So it looks like players might just go back to their items. Nope, Kilsen coming around the corner, wants to do damage on this heavy. Does take a rail. There's the spit to make sure that he doesn't get chased. But CNZ grabs that cleanly. Injects, and he could be able to get big damage up this jump pad, floating that dinosaur to the heavens. And the first frag goes to CNZ.
Yep, and already on the aggressive, but nice retaliation by Kilsen after super nice push by CNZ going through the low ground, catching Kilsen completely off guard. And Kilsen really hasn't got the weaponry to stick around here, but that shotgun blast is huge. Can he get the follow-up? No! CNZ does stick around and manages to get another item, but once again, we see the challenge here that Kilsen spawns with big stack and is willing to commit on this item. Huge opening rockets, and this will be a nice frag for the German, who is looking fly in his special glasses.
Oh yeah, it's a great look here as Kilsen needed that frag, gets it back. Big rockets here, playing slow, trying to catch CNZ out. 1-2 here. Nice little start on Molten Falls for CNZ. Again, it is his map choice most of the time. And not a bad start considering he's going up against a big tanky dinosaur. Now, can Kilsen catch him out at the rockets? He does. The second one will miss. The spit comes out. Can he land a direct? He does. But CNZ drops down on the Mega. Great rail, but CNZ returns the favor and takes another frag.
Kilsen won't be too unhappy with that. Yes, he gave away the frag, but hitting the rail himself, you can see how weak CNZ is, and a nice little cheeky push in from Kilsen as well keeps CNZ extremely low and will prevent any sort of pressure going out on this heavy. So that is definitely a strategical victory for Kilsen right now, and CNZ will have to be very careful around this next Mega because Kilsen will be coming. He is slightly late, which means CNZ will be able to pick this up. He's also got the inch up very shortly if he needs to push it. He doesn't have time as Kilsen closes the gap and switches to the shotgun.
Hits him with the boomstick. Unbelievable. As he just pushes forward. He has the stack and absolutely destroys that Anarchy. Almost tying it at 3. Still one frag down, trying to make it happen here with the rail opening into the spit. Needs to be careful. The rockets from CNZ are so good.
Yeah, really nice defensive play by CNZ. Kilsen getting a little bit too arrogant, trying to push through that choke point, knowing where his opponent was. Does come back to bite him, but CNZ slightly mistimed this as he's still winning around for the Mega. Kilsen, though, will be retreating to the defensive position in the banana room. But CNZ's already got around into a great railing position up above.
Kilsen just taking these rails. He wants a fight. He's going to grab a 25 to get out of rail range. Trying to do damage on the heavy. A 54 damage rocket will be all he gets as he makes his way back to the Mega. Good preemptive spit into LG. CNZ maybe bit off more than he could chew as Kilsen with 20 HP stands his ground and ties it at 3.
I think that is, lovely push by CNZ. Doing a Kilsen here, coming in again with aggressive with the rail. Double rail back to back. And CNZ's playing really well. I will have to say, it looks like he needs to clean up his timing a little bit because I feel that the initial Mega timing came back to bite him there, as you said. He bit off more than he could chew pushing into that, but the rail is just on point, and Kilsen is losing out in these duels so far, so needs to rethink that strategy. It's often the way he wants to play, but at the minute, not connecting as much as one would expect him to.
Really patient rails from CNZ here. LG on LG, and that dinosaur gets electrified 3-6 as CNZ presses the advantage here. Both players hitting about 50% rail, 46 and 52 respectively. Kilsen and CNZ, so not terrible. CNZ's definitely getting the better of Kilsen here. There's a little bit of self-rocket damage here. Back to LG. He's going to drop onto the heavy. Kilsen has to back away. CNZ should have free reign over this Mega. Kilsen needs to get away. He goes through the telly. And again, does a little bit of self-damage. And wow, if CNZ had that rail out, that would have been curtains for Kilsen. Fortunate to be alive.
Yeah, but now he's running around without anything to work with a long time before the major items. And CNZ's pushing aggressive. He misses the rail. Double rocket by Kilsen. It won't be enough. And CNZ is now in a perfect position to defend this heavy and pull back to the Mega if he needs to. Actually, Kilsen going in aggressive, but he's very early himself. Nice rocket. Eject is used. And CNZ's getting low, but just wants to hit a rail. Does miss that, and that will open the door for Kilsen to go onto this Mega. So what would have been a very ballsy move has worked out perfectly for Kilsen as he's won himself both major items and bullied CNZ away.
Oh, what a rail, but it returned. CNZ almost pulls together another one, 225s to work with, but the hunt is on. What a rocket from Kilsen coming up the jump pad, trying to get some damage off the spawn here. There's a preemptive spit. CNZ's going to push in and take a lot of damage. Jumps back into the spit. There's a 25 to mitigate that, but still down 3, and Kilsen knows exactly where he is. There's the rocket jump. CNZ does great damage, though. 4 HP. That is incredible.
Yeah, the look away from Kilsen was a little bit premature as he wasted a huge amount of stack with that small misstep, and now that's also allowed CNZ back onto the map, back onto the items, and see Kilsen has to reset, restack, try and get some damage off because now he's missed out on a free heavy as well. Look how healthy CNZ is with the inject to work with as well. He's just going to be running at Kilsen. It will be a very easy frag. A nice connecting rocket at the end, but again, it won't be enough. However, he's ticking away.
Does grab the 225s, but Kilsen should know exactly where he is, and it has a monster stack again off the spawn. Sorlag, very tanky, 88 HP, finally up to 100. CNZ can take a rail, needs to be careful, a little bit of LG as he goes through the telly here. Kilsen gonna double back for the heavy, but not in time. Heavy goes to CNZ, trying to get a rail on the way out. Kilsen not connecting.
No, but he
Still
did
has
connect.
the stack advantage.
Yeah, he connected after the heavy pickup, so that's huge for him. That will win him this mega. CNZ will probably drop for a rail, which he tries to do, but Kilsen expects that exact play and connects in advance. He also saw the inject gets used, which knows he's got a huge opportunity to force the issue. Another rail, he will know exactly how low his opponent is. It blocks off the health. What?
Wow.
Rockets from CNZ, walking away with 3 health. But Kilsen has the items, and he's in a great position now to set up for the mega. And if he can get a clean mega, CNZ's in a world of pain for the next minute.
That was just the most glorious double D I've ever seen there. 2 big 100 damage rockets. Fire Kilsen away, he's still alive,
No
CNZ!
way.
How is he alive? He needs to grab something, 2 HP, and he actually dies. The trade comes out. Stands his ground, makes sure that he wants to get that frag. He knew he was gonna go down, he made the best of it. Still up 3.
I mean, it's incredible. Kilsen is trying to force these issues, and CNZ is somehow coming away with trades every single time. We're still at a 3 frag difference in spite of all the stack and all the aggression coming out from Kilsen. CNZ is doing an amazing job to stand his ground, and that really could signal GG, because now it's just before the next mega. I'm sure CNZ will be expecting a push here, which is exactly why he's waiting in this defensive position. Sees Kilsen coming, does knock him off the map, but he's in a great position to finish this off. 1, 2, 3, Kilsen goes down, and CNZ is in a prime position to take map 1.
And I just know that in somewhere Harry's watching this and he's saying that's why you don't play Molten against CNZ. This is his map. I just know that he's saying that. Is CNZ again putting on a clinic on Molten. Kilsen down 5, less than 2 minutes. It's possible, but it's going to be very improbable here, as CNZ can just use the mobility to just stay away.
Yeah, and you can see Kilsen trying rocket jumping to catch up with CNZ, but he's playing very much a losing game at the moment, as he will just be chasing shadows for the rest of the map. I don't even expect CNZ to commit for major items at this point. Just do the damage, hit the rails, run away. Don't use the inject unless you're forced to. And look at this. I mean, it's going to be a really frustrating end to the map for Kilsen.
Yeah, and the predictions for chat in shambles right now. As the teleplay comes out, Kilsen will catch out CNZ. Minute 10 on the board, 4 frags. He's got to be able to pounce off the spawn.
No, I mean, I just unfortunately can't see it happening for the Kilsen fanboys at this point in time. It's going to take too long. I mean, Anarchy is noisy, but knowing where he is and catching him are 2 very different questions. And this also, I think, answers us on what kind of shape is Kilsen going to be in. And I think the answer is rusty 40. Very rusty.
Rusty indeed. He's still stringing them together. But this might have been the warm-up that he needed, the wake-up call to kind of get back and hyper-focus again. Still down 3, 30 seconds left. CNZ needs to play this still carefully. There's still a little bit of time here. So if he gets caught out here, this could be really bad. Big shotgun blast, and he's gone. He gone. There's the inject as well.
I like your optimism, but yeah, unfortunately not happening today for Kilsen, and a very well-deserved victory from CNZ. We said it would be difficult playing the Anarchy, and you saw at times the pressure was mounting, but he didn't let it get to him. He stood his ground, he made sure he played the items, and he was dealing significant amount of damage to Kilsen.
Just really, really well played there. Kilsen's going to be frustrated with that one. It wasn't the worst showing, but definitely not what he wanted. And going into Ruins, I mean, just mental reset. Well, how do you kind of prepare for this? Do you brush this off, Dan, or is there anything glaring that you would fix?
There was a few things. I think mechanically he looked, again, quite rusty. There were times where he was overextending. And I mean, from my experience, when I'm not feeling my game and I'm getting a little bit frustrated, I try and force the issue to almost, prove to myself I can do it. I felt there were glimpses of that in Kilsen's play, where you would often see him playing a lot slower, trying to control the map, trying to control the tempo. But here it was very much plus forward, trying to abuse the Sorlag stack and get in CNZ's face. And that's a strategy that would not work in a normal time when Kilsen was really on form, but when he's not connecting as much, even a couple % lower, you see CNZ just had him beat for beat at every single step of the way. And again, there was these pushes like this where, not this one, sorry, there was a later one where he was just wasting a lot more stack than he needed to, trying to force issues. And every single time that happened, CNZ made him pay. And CNZ might be low on the leaderboard, but he's somebody that will take maps off you if you're not on your A game.
Yeah, and is the first set that he puts away going to be against Kilsen? Again, a bit of a wounded Kilsen, not 100% by any stretch of the imagination, but at this point, CNZ will take what he can get. He needs to stack points and try and get out of the relegation slots. So, yeah, going into Ruins, this looks like it might be a 2-0 for CNZ. I don't know. Is it time to panic if you're buying Kilsen stock right now, Dan?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think Kilsen, being as experienced as he is, would know what he did wrong. And Ruins is a map where you can play a lot slower, which will benefit you if you're not always feeling your game. You can then hold those choke points, you can really slow it down. And that's the way we see CNZ generally wanting to play it. And so almost allow him to do that. Find your feet, get back into the game. But again, the fact that Kilsen's on Strog may mean he will want to play slightly quicker. Let's just say he might have, shrugged off a bit of the uncomfortable rust that he was going into this match with, because there was some moments of glory there. It's just about getting the consistency back for the full 10 minutes.
Yep, Ruins is going to be the next map against Strog versus k1llsen. You said you're assuming that k1llsen's going to play that kind of heavy spawn area where you have the Timmy. It's kind of a death trap to go down there, be it jump pad backstairs or rail stairs. You get caught out, you start taking damage, and then next thing you know, you get pounced on with LG. It's just almost an unwinnable fight. So we'll see if that's kind of the direction that CNZ wants to take with this setup with k1llsen. And Kilsen, I mean, the mobility with Strog and Peeker should be high flying, but we'll see how he wants to take it again. Not exactly the Kilsen that we're used to seeing, but he is dealing with the eye issue, so we'll see if he can bounce back after dropping map 1 to CNZ. But hats off to him. I mean, CNZ is probably the best Molten Falls player, at least on the EU side. Like, it's just he's taken it from pretty much everyone he's played.
Yeah, and it's full credit to him. Like we said, it wasn't Kilsen's best showing, but CNZ had to play extremely well to take the map, and he did exactly what he needed to do. And I was really impressed with, again, the posturing he was having and the way in which he was using, particularly the rail, to catch Kilsen off guard a number of times. He was outplaying Kilsen in combat, which is often not a comment we often say. So, full credit to him. Sets him up perfectly for this map.
We're live in map number 2 here on Ruins, Kilsen versus CNZ. The predictions are in. We'll see if people are gonna, be in shambles yet again here. CNZ can upset everybody in chat. Relatively slow start here. As Kilsen already has the main 3 weapons he wants. CNZ's trying to get in on rockets, and he will do so. Here's the rotation from both players. Just trying to gather everything they can for the next item. Huge split between heavy and mega as well.
Yeah, Kilsen, knowing that CNZ had to take the long route around the map to pick up the RL, meant he had an early maneuver onto the heavy to get in, and he also knows the timing for this mega as well. Goes in aggressive, but the LG is great from CNZ, but the bounce rocket to RG combo is better from Kilsen.
Huge frag for Kilsen here. That's a good start for him. Almost catches him out at the rail. Just too fast. But he does spot him out. Could chase this. Down goes the Timmy. Kilsen needs to be careful. This is the exact setup you don't want to deal with. Dealt with nicely. And he hits the rail on the way out, covering the exit. Really well done from Kilsen there.
Oh, CNZ is going super aggressive here, trying to take away the items, and that's not the play. Needs to play slower, and it's exactly what I'd be seeing if you're a Kilsen fan, or if you're Kilsen himself, trying to settle those nerves, get back into the game.
Oh no!
Oh, wow, what a read.
Wow. He was like, I don't even care about your peak or how big it is. He just went right past it, and CNZ puts himself on the board with a frag, and Kilsen's got to be frustrated with that. Good rockets, though. CNZ needs to get out. Does so. Almost gets caught on the wall. Ooh, CNZ with the big rail. Timmy's going to be there for a little bit of extra damage. This rail from CNZ as he wants this one, and he will connect, and the heavy won't be up for a while. So Kilsen a little bit early there, gets caught out, and now we're tied at 2 then.
Yeah, Kilsen getting caught off guard effectively by CNZ. Nice aggressive push to close the gap, but CNZ is still going to go in aggressive. He knows the timing, but bounce straight over the top. He's in a world of pain now, and Kilsen gets another easy frag. And it's been some messy encounters over by that mega. This game is definitely in the realms for somebody just to grab it by the neck and settle it down, slow the pace, try and get a back-to-back split of the items, and then they're in a great position to stamp their authority.
We'll see if Kilsen will do so here as he does grab the heavy. Goes up the jump pad. Nail damage awaiting, but it's not going to be enough as Kilsen finishes with a rail.
That was some plan by CNZ, but I don't think it played out anywhere near like he wanted to. But he is winning these rail encounters, so something for Kilsen to consider, and something for CNZ to play off.
Good return rail there from CNZ as Kilsen hits the initial one, hits another one, might hit the third, needs to be careful, drops down, deals with Timmy quite easily with 2 rockets. But CNZ did steal away the heavy from that.
He did, but this is much more the Kilsen we're used to. Playing the positional game, holding the mid ground and using his rail to chip apart his opponent. You can see CNZ struggling to even get out of this heavy area because Kilsen has a patrol set up around the perimeter and has the speed of Strog to make him feel like he's everywhere at once. You can see CNZ 30 seconds is still down in the heavy. He can't get out, and now he's living on the ropes as Kilsen will sweep up that heavy, look to push in aggressively and get a frag, and then retreat to pick up the mega.
And just so smart from Kilsen. As he dropped down, he fired the rocket towards where he thought CNZ was going to go, close the exit, guaranteed big damage. CNZ lucky to get alive with his life. Needs to be careful going up the jump pad. There's LG, and this should be certain death.
Perfect.
And it is. Really good trap by Kilsen.
Yeah, and this is where he thrives. The question is now, how does CNZ get back into this game? He's just spawned on the low ground, meaning he won't be able to contest this heavy at all. And look at the stack Kilsen has to work with. CNZ still trying to pick up the weapons. And he's struggling at the moment to play with the tempo of Kilsen. Yes, Kilsen's not, taking these close range engagements, but he's just using the speed so quickly to shut down any sort of avenues for CNZ to aggress that it makes his life incredibly difficult.
Tri-bolt on point, not big damage, but he's going to be able to just casually stroll back onto that mega after taking a rail, and Kilsen, he smells blood. CNZ has to be very careful with his next moves, and Kilsen will spot him out the shoulder, the LG, and down goes CNZ. It was just a matter of time, Dan.
It was just a matter of time, and watching from CNZ's pub right now, it's just looks pretty clueless. He can't even get on to Major items. You see him now. He's going to try and secure this mega. It's his only play right now, but Kilsen sweeps her across the map, hits a full rocket, another one. Yes, he hasn't got the item, but he's completely mitigated what the benefits are, and CNZ has nothing to work with. He hasn't even got rockets. It's dire times in the CNZ camp.
I thought that full rocket just hit Timmy, but no, that was dead on target right on CNZ. The Mega's there to heal him up a little bit. He is going to grab the outside armor, but doesn't escape without taking a rail, and now he's so weak.
I mean, yeah, CNZ spent the best part of the last 2 minutes running
What
away.
a read.
Running away from Kilsen, and this is where he becomes incredibly scary. You can see he's just patrolling that mid ground. He'll only ever drop when he needs the item, get straight back into position, push out, try and get a frag, then retreat back onto items and just bully his opponent away from where his opponent needs to be. And then he plays incredibly slow just to set these traps, as you see, connect on the rail, mitigate the item, rinse and repeat. It's such a powerful strategy and so hard to come back from if you're against Kilsen.
Less than 4 minutes, 5 frags for CNZ to try and make up to send us into sudden death. Kilsen looking a lot more on form in map number 2 here. Yeah,
definitely, and this is not what we saw in map 1. This is what I expected from him, but you could definitely sense he was just feeling his way back into the QPL after quite a prolonged break and whatever issues he was suffering at that time. But this is exactly what we want to see if you're a Kilsen fan. And you asked, how does he get back into the game, 40? Well, you just play like this.
Oh no, he does get bounced off the Mega, but the LG not going to be enough. CNZ will get that frag back with the Tri-bolt. Still 5 frags down. 310 on the board. I don't know, Dan. Do you believe?
I don't. I mean, he just got 300 damage with the Tri-bolt from nothing, but still, it's a long road to come back on Ruins for sure, and that's even if you're able to string together consecutive frags.
Great rail from Kilsen there. Oh, another follow-up as well. Can he go 3 for 3?
He knows the Mega's up. He's done his job. Perfect play. And CNZ doesn't got a rocket. So this is the problem now. Is he has to take risk after risk after risk and hope they work out. Because if they don't, then he's even in more trouble. He's running out of time fast.
And Kilsen doesn't even need to be there. He'll concede the heavy happily here as he catches him out on the jump pad. CNZ. Good damage here. Kilsen needs to be careful. A little bit of rocket damage. Really good HP from Kilsen here. Ooh, but that rail from CNZ. Really nice shot. Really
nice. But 2 minutes to go, 4 frags. He's going to have to play the final 2 minutes of his life right here to come back in Kilsen, and every rail like that will just set him back a little bit longer. Lovely rockets though. Oh no, the rail swap!
Why the rail? Oh no. Did he not have shotgun? Anything? Anything but rail?
Anything but rail.
Oh, when Kilsen capitalizes again with the LG, and that's curtains. That's it.
Oh man, we need a caster cam to watch my face palms when I'm watching this stuff, man.
I think chat felt it. I don't know. That is what you don't want to do. That weapon switch was just yeah. And again, I'm not sure if he didn't have shotgun, but anything would have been better. Even a little machine gun action, something.
Yeah, man. Even pummel at that stage, you know.
Well, he risked it all for the biscuit, Dan. Sometimes it doesn't work out. You don't get the gravy, so I don't know what to say. Arguably, I mean, even if he gets that frag, it's still a tall mountain to climb. So it doesn't mean that he missed out on the comeback, but that frag certainly is going to haunt him for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it was perhaps, you know, a 5% chance of a comeback if I'm being optimistic, but that just made it 0 instantly. So GG, Kilsen does claw one back and has us for a tied series right now, moving into Corrupted Keep. Doom on Kilsen for Ranger on CNZ. What's your feeling, 40?
I think the burst damage is going to be huge for CNZ. I really do think that the Dire Orb is going to... Ooh, good rockets there from Kilsen. I feel like the Dire Orb is a big deal, especially on Corrupted Keep.
Okay.
I mean, mobility-wise, it's ooh, that peeker was so close. Mobility-wise, Doom's great for dodging, and the double jump is naturally just a fantastic tool. But I don't know. I just have this feeling that CNZ is going to use that Dire Orb, get big burst damage, finish with shotgun or rockets up close, and I feel like he might be able to take this last map. But we'll see. I mean, Kilsen a lot more on form. Map number 2, taking that one securely, solid play. We'll see. I don't know. I feel like I like Ranger a little bit more than Doom on CK. But what do I know, Dan? I don't know.
Apparently not a lot after that comment, but
exactly.
Yes, Platt in the chat. But we are going on to map now with that rail, and it's been a rail-heavy game for both players who have favoured that as a strategical choice. And I have to say that Kilsen's LG has looked very rusty when I've seen him go mano a mano. But again, it's not the best strategy to go to use it in that way. CK is a map where it's all about controlling the positions, controlling the items, and then using the speed to pressure your opponent thereafter. And I think with Doom, it just makes that so much easier than on a Ranger. Ranger has a lot of flexibility. It does have the additional burst damage with the orb, as you rightly say, but have to favor Kilsen for this one.
Well, it all comes down to this. This isn't even about them anymore, Dan. It's about you and I in our battle. But we'll see. CK, Kilsen versus CNZ. Again, no matter what happens, it's just good to see Kilsen back. I'm sure he wants to put this win under his belt, but CNZ is fighting for his first series victory of the stage. Can it happen against Kilsen? We will find out shortly. But yeah, chat, predictions, we'll see. They're locking them in. They're wary now, Dan. They don't know where to go with their points.
If they have their faith, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to go out to convince anyone.
Yes, you are. Don't lie to these people. 41% to 59 so far as they keep coming in. We'll see. And yeah, Dan and I might arm wrestle chat, but we'll get to that later. Right now, we have to focus on the task at hand: Kilsen versus CNZ. And I feel like maybe the passive of Ranger won't play into it. The rocket jumping, I mean, taking less damage, he could match the speed of Doom. But you know what it really comes down to, Dan, and I think we could both agree, machine gun cess on this map. You have to be able to keep the damage up at a distance with the heavy machine gun, and that could turn the tide depending on how well players engage and disengage from those fights.
Yeah, no, 100%. Positioning and efficiency in your damage output is always key. Weapon choice is so paramount on this game because you can't rely, as these two players have done already, on hitting some fantastic rails and then following up for easy frags. It's all about how efficient you can be in between the major item pickups, then positioning to control the map and make sure you get the clean items. And if you can do that, you're in for a very good chance to suffocate your opponent and take a map relatively easily. But we have seen bloodbaths on this map, we have seen whitewashes on this map. I think it'll be close, but again, I'm going to go ahead and put my prediction points on Kilsen.
Well, same with chat, as it looks like a 70-30 split, but we are live on map number 3. And this is what it all comes down to, chat. There's the big burst damage right off the bat, but the LG is just so strong from Kilsen. Takes him down early.
Oh, what a push from CNZ there as he comes away with just 6 health remaining. I thought the swap was good from Kilsen to get the heavy machine gun, but just enough from CNZ. Kilsen, though, will be pressuring, or not pressuring this heavy. Instead decides to pick up the Mega for free and control the map because he has the weapons. And now this is the challenge. How does CNZ get on the weapons?
Trying to get a little bit of damage with the Tri-Bolt and push Kilsen off, but nothing doing, can't connect, so Kilsen defends the rockets. And CNZ just has to play slow, doesn't want to give up any kind of damage, but Kilsen goes in, there's the Dire Orb to just get out of there.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but it's at what cost now? He's wasted the ability, not wasted it, used the ability. Still hasn't got a rocket, which is huge. You can see Kilsen trying so hard to defend it. Finally, CNZ does work his way around to that side of the map, so...
He should take rockets. Okay, good. I was worried that he was waiting a little bit too long there. Does get on the rockets finally. Kilsen around the corner with the LG. CNZ's in a bad way here. He does jump in on the armor. Kilsen can't really punish it, so now CNZ actually looking pretty good here. Does deny the 50 as well.
Yeah, but the confidence is there. He's now taken away all the armor, so he's in a really good position. The mecha's up. CNC won't be able to contest, but you can see that split on the items ever so slightly creeping further apart. And now because CNC has taken away those lights, he has even up the stacks. Oh, just sneaks out as Kilsen swaps the weapon, and now that's in a big trouble. Does push the aggressive of the orb, and that will be a nice little frag.
Catches him off the spawn. Good read. Kilsen trying to make something happen with the nail, and the double jump will save his life. What a play by Kilsen. 25 HP, does grab the lower armor, but CNZ wants to try and push this. He knows he's low. Little bit of chip damage, but heavy will go to Kilsen as mega spawns for CNZ.
Ran out of ammo, 40, but he will push the aggressive here. He needs the rockets, but he's bouncing into Kilsen. He gets bounced around. Doesn't get the frag, but Kilsen is extremely low, and CNZ will be more than aware of how low his opponent is. Kilsen will try and work his way around quickly towards the health and then towards the heavy. And if he can do that, it's worked out perfectly for him. Oh, he's going to take the fight as well. CNZ, though, catching him completely off guard. That was, again, a little bit questionable from Kilsen.
And quite the bloodbath we have here, and I love it. As we're getting closer and closer to 3 minutes in, tied at 3-all, and that's just free machine gun damage for Kilsen there. CNZ a little bit projectable on the exit here, trying to catch him out above the graveyard. LG on LG. Kilsen waiting for that 50 shard. Stack's about even now. Next item is going to be the heavy. Kilsen just heard the lower armor go, so now it's just a matter of how he wants to try and attack this and cut off CNZ.
Yeah, just trying to do any sort of chip damage you can before the pickup. Now retreats to the rocket. Items are still relatively close though, and they're quite happy at this stage to trade. And they're willing to overextend because if that kind of push doesn't work out, you've given up full map control. Set yourself a really difficult position to get back into the game, but it is still tied here, 40, as they are 3-3 and even on stack. Kilsen with the first rocket. CNZ is catching buff guard with these lightning gun pushes as well, so really nice play from both throughout this map so far in the first 4 minutes.
They've just rotated to each other's item, although CNZ might peek this and take some damage, and there it is. Just trying to catch out Kilsen a little bit, but the items will be traded again, this time in reverse for each player. And a nice slow game, just waiting for the right opportunity. That chip damage is going to be huge for Kilsen to give away CNZ's position. So he tries to fight his way out of the corner. Never mind, he's going to eat 2 big rockets here. Wow, Kilsen serving him up hot and fresh. CNZ just at a buffet of rockets here. LG in the red room too. And it is stained with the blood of CNZ yet again. Kilsen 5-3. 2 frags in a row, chaining them together, Dan.
And this is the first time someone's got back-to-back frags, taken all the weapons away. CNZ hasn't got a lightning gun, and Kilsen will know that and will want to abuse that as he will push out onto this mid-ground now and try to pick CNZ apart. with the mid-range weaponry.
Kilsen playing real slow. Doesn't want to give up those rockets for free at all, but CNZ already got some. Now Kilsen knows the jig is up.
He's out of rockets. He doesn't know, does he?
I don't think so. He still has the rocket launcher out, but now he switches to machine gun.
Well, that was scary.
Luckily for him, he does click, and he's like, okay, well now I know for sure.
5-minute warning.
It's the first period of separation we've really had in terms of scoreline, and Kilsen's still not picking,
he's like, what about now? Do I have any rockets now? What about now?
Surely they respawn, right?
Yeah. There you go. So still up 2. Now he has rockets, and he's just trying to sniff out where CNZ is. CNZ playing really quiet down below, playing off Kilsen's sound. Kilsen does finally hear that. Is he going to drop now like Batman? There it is. There's the rocket. Big, huge follow-up, but CNZ backs up onto the Mega. Kilsen will grab the heavy, but you got to think that he wanted a little bit more from that. Still 2 frags up, but CNZ just very fortunate to have the Mega at his back.
It's like a horror movie right now with CNZ being stalked by Kilsen. He has to go up away, but he's so low. Kilsen will chase. Big rockets from CNZ. Kilsen's actually very low himself. He wants a frag, he needs a frag, but realizes there's a step too far. Retreats himself onto the health and pushes back into mid. But again, CNZ still not able to push out, relegated these back channels. And meaning Kilsen will be able to now probably even push it heavy if he wants to, because it's at a time the CNZ is slightly delayed, and now we're starting to see again more of a split between the major items. The next round of pickups is going to be a very important moment in this matchup.
Rocket flying by Kilsen here. Kilsen doing a good job of controlling kind of the middle ground right above Mega, making sure that CNZ has to take a ton of damage regardless of which choke point he wants to push through. So that's a free Mega for Kilsen. Now he could rotate to the heavy. He's going to be a little bit late just setting up for damage here. Will CNZ just take the telly out again that we've seen time and time again? He's walking out very, very slow, but that ammo pickup will give him away.
Yeah, Kilsen able to get a light as well and fully restack that armor, so he's looking very healthy. CNZ obviously got the heavy for free as well, so he's in a decent position. And losing out quite heavily on that exchange as well. Kilsen with the light armor to restack, so he's looking very, very good. Will he push now even more aggressively for this heavy? I think someone needs to extend. And it is going to be Kilsen. He goes in, but nice double back from CNZ. He's done a lot of damage. He pushes through the telly, which is dangerous, but the orb is there. Oh my gosh.
No rockets again for Kilsen. He needs to be careful. Does he realize this time? 47 HP. And he's just flirting with death right now. He's slowing it down. It's the tri-bolt raining out from CNZ, not landing. 225s to Kilsen, and he clicks again. Gets caught out a little bit of LG damage there.
Oh no, CNZ didn't know the timing. He completely missed out on that and gave Kilsen a huge lifeline. But this 40 is exactly why we've seen such hesitancy from both players to try and make a move on either one's major item. Because if that doesn't work, look at the situation Kilsen found himself in now. He's on the back foot, he's on the run. He wanted to be proactive, perhaps it wasn't worth it. It's only 2 minutes to go, and the next frag is likely to be decisive.
Kilsen needs rockets. Finally re-ups on some rockets and hits an amazing one right off the bat. All you got to do is give Kilsen a rocket. Wisely decides to not go for the Mega, goes for the lower armor shard instead.
Nice.
Good LG as CNZ really wants this heavy, but now Kilsen just playing defensive. That's all he needs to do, Dan. Less than 2 minutes, 2 frags up.
Yeah, but I think that's the first time anyone's got back-to-back items. Look at CNZ now. He's also got the orb to close the gap, and that's going to be a massive instrument if he wants to come back into this game. Kilsen gives away his position. Needs to get some ammo, though, and CNZ's already there to shut down that light armor. Kilsen will retreat to the other, but he's not even going to make a move because he knows it's going to be a trap. So he's just baiting it at the moment. Can double jump away, and that's, again, why Doom is so incredibly useful. It's just that basic maneuverability around the map. CNZ knows he's got time. It's very easy to convert on this map, and it's all about making sure if he does get a frag, it's going to be a clean one. Kilsen's making sure that's not going to happen. You're going to come at me, and you're going to come at me weak.
65 HP. Can CNZ find him to do the last bit of damage he needs? Kilsen just wants to try and stay alive as long as he can now. Still 2 frags up. If he could just delay a little bit longer, this might be in the bag. Around the corner, no damage from CNZ. Kilsen staying alive, but he finally gets caught out. Good trap from CNZ. Now he has 50 seconds to make up another frag and send this into sudden death.
He's still got the orb as well, which is huge, which he knows he can get Kilsen. Kilsen going to defend the choke point. Huge rockets, but CNZ, he actually uses the orb, but he's going to die! Kilsen picks up a frag with 40 seconds to go.
the biggest rockets of the game from Kilsen again. Might get caught out here, and he does, but the trade still comes out. Kilsen, how? How are you hitting these?
Out of here. And he's going to double back as well. So smart, just delaying him for a few seconds. He's going to pick up this heavy, and I don't even expect him to really push out much from now. He'll just go around to the back rooms, try and play a choke point, saying, if you want to come at me, it's going to be painful for you. And that's exactly what he does. Nice opening rocket, 9 seconds to go, and this is going to be GG for you. Kilsen takes it 2-1, 8-5 on map 3, clawing his way back from what was a pretty disastrous opening for him.
And you just have to feel for CNZ. I mean, it seems like week in, week out, he's just getting so close to putting the series away, and whoever he's playing is just like, no, I'm sorry. And, you know, hats off to Kilsen. He played well, especially after the first map, you know, a little shaky, but that's, you know, he bounced back. He did what he needed to. And more importantly, you were right. I was wrong. Great way to start the day for me, so that's fantastic. But huge rockets from Kilsen in that series, on that last map especially, just absolutely obliterating CNZ. And look at him. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of here. Just big defensive rockets from Kilsen.
Yeah, the way they were both playing that game, it was always going to come down to a moment of madness, some crazy rockets, because they were quite happy to trade and wait for an opening. No one was being incredibly proactive. CNZ was playing the low channels, Kilsen was trying to set up traps on the high ground, but they were both playing so slow, it was very difficult that was ever going to work out. Kilsen made one move to try and stamp his authority around 7 minutes in. It didn't work out, and it kind of reset into that same rhythm. And then it took, as we said, one big fight with some rockets to seal the deal. But it was still slow-paced, but still incredibly entertaining to watch from a strategy point of view.
Just an absolutely fantastic set in that last map. You know, we were terrified. Kilsen just kept having no rockets, and then the minute you give him rockets, 150 damage easily. Just insane to see from Kilsen. But that's quite the way to start the day, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot more action coming up. Next, we're going to head over to the Americas. It's going to be Maxter versus Rafa. But first, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Still a lot more Quake on the way, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.